No, no screwing around. Do you see a guest? Do I have to tell you this every single night? We don't start until the guests arrive. That would be like doing a TV show with a live audience and the audience ain't there. How many times do I have to explain this to you? Jesus. If it was live TV and the audience wasn't there, you'd think they would start the show? No. They only start when the audience comes in, like now. Time to start the show, idiot. Every night I gotta explain over and over. From the WDWL TV Multiplex, live from Grumpy's staff office, with a great anticipation, we bring you the pride of the station, the grumpy old man, me, and the grumpy disco I need a spotlight on me, vulture. Take your bow and don't screw it up. What are you doing? What are you doing? Take your bow. You actually didn't screw it up. Okay, you only got to wear this for 3 weeks now, not 4. Mister, I need a spotlight. I hope it blinds you. You're crooked. Greetings, friends. Look who's here. I think Kathy and Jenny had a fight to see who could click the button first to join. Oh. I did some rearranging again. I changed the font on the chat again. This one is a little more clear for me to read. I also, this is a riot. Take a look at the clock. What does it say? Do 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 boom boom. It says grumpy time on the clock. I went in and I was looking and it said current time. And it looked like you could go in and change it. So I hit delete. So I deleted it from current time and put grumpy time. And I'm going to have to move the counter because it's right on top of my head. I don't know why it looked different before. It was actually higher. I don't know why it dropped. But now it's right on top of my head. I go in and I make these adjustments. And I don't know why they change from the time that I supposedly lock them in place. And then I put in whatever today's title is and hit start. And why this thing dropped down, The counter was directly under the on-air light up here. I don't know why it dropped down. I'll fix it tomorrow. I'll move it somewhere else. I had a busy day. I didn't get on Discord. I'm sure everybody was looking for me going, okay, you learned how to use it. Where the hell are you? I was out and about most of the day. Actually, I accomplished like nothing. Everything I went to do, not even worth talking about. I wasted a day doing nothing. I've got the 2 tires on the back of my Nissan. They keep losing air. And it's a porosity around the edge of the wheel where the tire bead meets the rim. I mean, we're talking almost 30-year-old aluminum wheels, and salt corrodes them. And every time you change a tire, they go in, they grind them, and they slowly destroy the sealing bead. So I go up to the tire shop and I said, hey, I need you to break these tires down and slop the rims with sealer and then pop them back on. He said, I'm busy. I looked. He had 1 car in the bay, had 2 tires on the front, and his assistant was mounting the other 2. I says, I didn't want you to drop everything. I can wait. Well, I have a very important customer coming in for tires, and he should be here any minute. I said, so you're telling me that his money is better than mine? I didn't say that. Well, tell me when you can fix my goddamn rims. I'm tired of constantly stopping, airing them up. Well, then Mr. VIP pulls in his nice big fancy Mercedes, and the conversation ended. So I didn't get that done. Now, it's not the only tire shop, but it's the cheapest. And as we all know, Grumpy is cheap. Oh, they start tomorrow. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I canceled the one for Friday. I don't need to see the Tootsie doctor. Screw him. Because all he's going to tell me is he wants to break the toe, and we definitely didn't do that. No. So I canceled Friday. But yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tomorrow is the head MRI. Again. I had one done like 6 months ago. I keep telling them, there ain't nothing there. What are you looking for? And I get a message from my primary care today. If you go into my chart, you will see the results for your vascular test are in. Kindly keep your upcoming appointment so we can discuss a plan. There ain't no plan to discuss. The report come back. No circulation problems. Okay, I have different blood flow in one toe than the other. You know, I got 200 whatever gigaflux in one toe and 185 gigaflux in the other toe. So what? From the ankle to my waist, good blood flow. Nothing to be concerned about. So, I don't know what this plan is that he wants to discuss. Probably a plan for more tests. Well, that's what they told me. As a matter of fact, like of all doctors, my oncologist, you know, he looked at the toe and he went, "How come it's like this?" I said, "Because I've broken it twice." And I said, "There ain't nothing they can do for it. They put 2 popsicle sticks, tongue depressors, under the toe, and then they tape the big toe next to the next toe, and then they tape around your foot, and they put you in one of them walking boots." I said, "Screw it," the last time. So, yeah, it healed crooked. And he says to me, he says, "Well, you know, you should get that fixed." And I had an idea. So I says, "Okay, Doc, Mr. Oncologist, bone doctor, how are they going to fix it?" He said, "Well, they'd have to surgically re-break it." I don't think so. I just can't wear hard shoes. That's it. I mean, it's sad because I have a gorgeous, gorgeous pair of Italian leather loafers that I had resoled and healed before I broke the toe. And they're sitting on the shelf in my closet. They're absolutely, they're stunning. I can't wear them. I cannot wear hard leather shoes. Now, if I have to go somewhere kind of dressy, I have a very nice pair of leather athletic shoes. They almost look like a dress shoe, but they're soft. And then I don't hurt my toe. I don't, as much as I would love to wear them loafers, I don't, they can sit on the shelf and collect dust. I would love to wear them, especially after the money I spent to have them resoled and healed, but I think after I had them sold and healed, I wore them for like maybe 4 times. Because what I did the first time I wore them, I had them on for half an hour. Then the second time, which was maybe a couple days in between, I walked around with them for about 45 minutes. And then I got up to an hour, and then like an hour and 10 minutes, and it was starting to, they were starting to break in. Well, then I broke the toe, and that ended my loafers. I don't, 99.99999% of the time, I wear athletic shoes. I have several different colors. I don't know if you've ever heard of Massey Shoes. They're an online. They sell women's clothing and that, but they mainly shoes. So I go in a couple times a year in the clearance set because I have gotten $150, fancy athletic shoes for 25, 35 bucks. The major problem is, first of all, trying to find a size 14, and you don't get a big color choice. I got a pair of, what the hell are they? FIFAs, some starts with an F. I can't remember. FIFAs, something like that. They were $166.99, brand new. I got them on clearance for $27.95. Bright red. Oh, they glow in the dark. First time I wore them, everybody's like, what the hell's with them shoes? Hey, I don't care what the hell the color is. I'm getting expensive shoes for nothing, basically. I have, what the hell, they're, another kind of big name, K-Swiss, I think they are, K-Swiss. They were $139. I got them for $29.99. Ugliest green you ever wanted to see. They're comfy as hell. They feel real nice on my feetsies. I don't give a shit about what color they are. I wear them for comfort. And I always look for a shoe with a good inner sole and a good arch support. I don't give a shit what color they are. I really don't. If they're my size for one, and they've got arch supports and good cushioning inside, I'm buying them. I get amazing deals in the clearance bin at Massey's. And if you don't like them, they send you a return shipping label. Right? It's right in the box. If you don't like them, put the shoes back in the fucking box, send them back. Can't beat it. What the hell are... Oh my God. What the hell's the name of the... Shit. Oh, it's a weird-ass name. I got slippers with a sole so that I can walk outside if I want. And the most baby soft fur lining inside the shoe I've ever slipped my foot into. I think I paid $19 for them. They're an oddball name like Cucamongas or some shit. I never heard of them. The most comfortable slippers. I could sleep in them. Now, they're a medium gray. You should have seen some of the shoes I've gotten over the years. I had a pair of Nikes. They had every color on earth on these shoes. It looked like at the end of the day they took all the scraps, stitched them all together, and made a shoe top. Everybody made fun of them. They were the most comfortable goddamn shoes I ever wore. So I give up being able to wear a hard leather shoe. I don't give a shit. It's not like I'm working. It's not like I'm going to some gala affair. Athletic shoes work for me. Plain and simple. Tomorrow I'll bring the red ones in. I call them traffic light red. Oh, are they red? But they're comfortable. I got them very cheap. You know, I used to wear them years ago. And I don't know why I got away from them. I know why I got away from them. Because it's very hard finding them in a 14. It's hard finding anything decent in a size 14. So I'm kind of stuck with the pick of the litter, you know. But I used to wear them. Oh, God, I lived in the damn things. They are the most comfortable goddamn. Same thing. I have a pair of moccasins. I love them. You know, people make fun of me. I said, hey, goddamn Indians wore them everywhere. You know, they probably kicked poor General Custer in the head with a moccasin. You know, they invented moccasins. They were good enough for the American Indian. They're good enough for me. And they're lamb's wool lined. Oh. Matter of fact, it's the only pair I have ever seen with a lamb's wool lining. And I can't remember where I bought the goddamn things. I think I was at a flea market. And a guy had a truckload of shoes. And I happened to spot them. And they were size 14. And I jewed him down. And I was happy. But I've never seen another pair with lamb's wool lining. They got that cheap artificial fur, but these have actual lamb's wool. And the only problem is a lot of times they're a little too hot. They make my feet sweat. So I wear them randomly with the other slippers. I remember, I wish I could remember the goddamn name. It is the weirdest name. It's like, you know, Rancho Cucamonga, but they're comfy. You know, Jenny, just for grins, go on Macy's.com. They carry everything as far as shoes. You might be able to find a nice pair of moccasins on, and they're not sponsoring me, so But I love Massey's. Oh, God, I've been buying from them for years. And like you say, if there's a problem with them, you send them back. And there's a shipping label in the box, a return shipping label. You don't even have to pay for postage. You slap the label on the box and hand it to your postal carrier and say, here, take these with you. There was another place I was buying shoes from that I was quite happy with online. But Massey's is... I can't think of the other one, but Massey's, I love Massey's. Because in the clearance section, it's unbelievable, the markdowns. The problem is I'm very limited because of the size. I'll see a shoe, I'm like, oh, I like those. Click. Size 12. No 13, no 14. But the ones I have are top notch. Like I say, I got Adidas, I've got some Nikes, I got them K-Swiss. What else have I got? I know I got boxes in my closet. I probably have 10 pair of shoes in the closet in boxes that I haven't wore yet. Because if I spot them, I grab them. If I get them cheap, I grab them. Because I know sooner or later I'm going to wear them. My son's like, what are you, starting a shoe store? No. You know, there's been times that I've worn them once and put them back in the box. Well, I have shoes all over the place. They look good in the box. I was kind of hoping Nomad was going to pop in. I got something today that literally blew me away. My eyes were like, you know, like in the cartoon when their eyes pop out of their head. Whoa! I'll show you. I have to move the microphone. Oh, here we go. The painting arrived today. Look at this. The painting arrived. Is that not classy? And he did it in like 2 weeks. So I ordered a frame already. That's from my buddy I have known since I was 5 years old. We went through grade school together, junior high, and high school. And he's retired down in Florida, and that's his hobby. He sent me a pencil sketch. He said, what do you think of the sketch? I was like, whoa, I love it. He goes, okay, I'm going to start painting it. I hope to have it to you by the end of the month. It arrived today. Amazing. Matter of fact, the mail carrier, she didn't have it in the bag. She says, I got something in the truck for you. I didn't want to put it in the bag. I said, oh, okay. Of course, on the front of the envelope it says, painting. Yeah. So I opened the... I had to close my mouth. It got stuck. So I immediately came in and ordered a frame because I don't want to hurt it. I want to put it in a frame and then I'll hang it up. Because right now it's just the painting, on canvas. And I don't want to damage it. So I immediately come in, I measured it. Before I ordered the frame, I asked the guy, the frame seller, I said, I have a canvas that's 11 by 14. Will it fit in the frame or not? And he goes, yes. As a matter of fact, he said if you would have clicked a few more pictures on the website, you would have seen the back end of a frame with a canvas in it, measured 11 by 14. I said, oh, okay, I didn't click far enough. So tomorrow it will be in the mail on the way. And then I'll frame it, and then I can hang it up. And I just might get a spotlight for it. Like the bird has. As a matter of fact, I checked it out. It's basically a spotlight made to hang on a wall. So I could put it on the ceiling and aim it towards my photograph. My painting. All right, here's your goddamn spotlight. Oops, I screwed the adjustment up. I don't care. I'm going to tell everybody I have a painting. They'll be like, I didn't know you were into art. I am now. I showed it to my neighbor, and I said, maybe 50 years from now it'll be hanging in some museum. I was shocked. Just, first of all, it looks so realistic. And from pencil sketch to arrival, it's like 2 weeks. When he told me I hope to have it done by the end of the month, I was like, oh, nah. Evidently, he's got more talent than I gave him credit for because, it's amazing. It's just utterly amazing. And then, something utterly amazing. A friend of mine, he calls me, says, hey, if you're out and about, stop over. I got something to show you. I said, okay. So I stopped over, and he said, it's in the garage. I said, okay. And I went, holy shit. It was a 1969 Opel GT. Now, they used to call this the mini Corvette because it looked like a shrunken Corvette. It was imported. It was built, I think they built them in Germany, I'm not sure. But it was built by GM's Opel division because GM owned Opel. As a matter of fact, they sold them in Buick dealers. Well, this thing has been covered up in it. Now it's a 69. It's been covered up in a garage since 1973. It looks brand new. Not to mention, I had one. It's identical to what I had. That it's a kind of crappy orange. I didn't like the color. But it's got a 4-speed. Now, he told me it's going to take him about 2 months before he'll have it running. Because he's got to go through the whole, everything. He's got to drop the gas tank out and send it out to be flushed. Then he's got to flush all the fuel lines out. He's got to get the carburetors rebuilt. Then he's got to disassemble the whole brake system. Because it's going to need everything. Because you can't take one of these old cars like everybody thinks. Oh, pour a little gas in it, put a battery in it, turn the key. It has to basically, it's been sleeping all these years. It has to be slowly woken up. And I told him when it's woke up, I want to drive it. It brought back memories. Oh, God. Mine was a 70. I bought it in 75. I had it for about 14 months, and it got stolen. And when they recovered it, there was nothing left of it. They stripped the engine, transmission out of it. They took the interior out. This is identical to what I had. It's got the smaller 4-cylinder, which that engine was only 67 horsepower. You would never know it because those cars were quick, but they looked like a little miniature Corvette. I can't believe it's been in a garage since 1970. The plate's on it, 1973. And not a speck of dirt on it. Of course, he told me it not only had a car cover, but the woman had about 47 blankets on it because it was her husband's pride and joy, and he passed away suddenly, and she went out in the garage and covered it up. And it's been in the garage since 1973. I would love to find something like this. And I says to him, how the hell did you ever find this thing? Sometime he helps out his friend who does carpet installation. This woman was getting new living room carpeting. He walked out in the garage and he saw this thing all covered up and he peeked at a wheel. And it says Opal on the little wheel disc. He was like, Opal. So he says, can I look at that car in the garage? And she was like, yeah. So off come the 50,000 blankets that she had on it. And he lifted the car cover and he said he almost shit himself. And the woman come out and said, I probably should get rid of it. It's been taking up garage space for a long time. Only problem is he won't tell me what he paid for it. A find of a lifetime. But it's going to take him a good, easy 2 months, if not more, to get this thing revived. If he can find parts. Like he'll have to, rebuild the calipers. He'll have to find wheel cylinders, brake shoes. I told him, I said, you might have to have some of that stuff custom made. Like brake shoes. And, those shops have disappeared over the years. We used to have all kinds of these little mom and pop shops, You'd go in and say, hey, can you reline these brake shoes? Yeah, sure, okay, Can you rebuild these calipers? Yeah, Now we're a throwaway society. Rebuild something? Are you crazy? Not to mention getting the engine running, getting the carburetors done, I told him, you got a lot of work ahead of you. Although when he gets, once it gets running, I want it. Mainly because I had one just like it. Matter of fact, when I saw it, I went, that's where my stolen car went. Nah. Mine came back as a shell. He was surprised I knew what it was. I said, knew what it was? I owned one. For 14 months. But see, back in the day, they didn't have all this bullshit they got today. You would crawl under the dash, cross a few wires, and you were gone. And that's what they did with mine. And it's hilarious. If you pay attention to shit in the movies today, because you'll see a guy come out and it'll be a 2024 Lincoln, and the guy reaches under the dash and pulls out some wires and away he goes in the car. That don't happen today. There's no such thing as crossing a few wires and getting a car started. And then I was watching, I can't remember. It was It was an old B movie. So you know there weren't any big stars in it. And there was a chase scene. And this guy is driving across a beach. And all you hear is tire squeal. He's driving on sand. Tire squeal. The average person wouldn't notice it. For some reason, I'm keyed to that. Because I even said to a friend of mine, I said, you got to watch this movie. Because it's going to be on again Wednesday or Thursday. I said, wait till you get to the chase across the beach. And he says, why? I said, you hear tires squealing like they're on a street. And he says, only you would catch that. When's the last time you heard tire squealing in a car going across sand? You don't. You notice that, Kathy, the average person doesn't notice it. And mainly when the guy is in, like a brand new Mercedes, and he's under the dash, crossing wires, and drives away, there ain't no way that on these new cars, no, that went out in the frickin' 70s. Reaching under the dash and crossing wires, Or a chase scene across a beach with tires squealing. As a matter of fact, it was hilarious because he was driving this little foreign car. And the engine noises sounded like a GT350 Mustang, I'm like, who was the sound man? And didn't the director catch it in the final cut? Like, hey, they're racing across a beach, you idiot, and he's driving a little foreign car. You got tire squeal and engine noise from a goddamn Dodge Demon, Oh, I saw a car review today. The new, I can't, what is it? I don't know if they're calling it the Charger, but it's the new Dodge Charger. EV. 100% electric. Chrysler Corporation has lost their mind. Because when you start the car, it has speakers out the front and back with engine noise. And you can rev the accelerator and it sounds like an old Dodge Demon. And it's a fucking electric car. I almost pissed myself laughing that Chrysler Corporation put a sound box in an electric car. And you rev the accelerator, and out the front and back you hear, and it's electric. I don't know what they were thinking. You're not going to fool the public. And the sad thing is, now it's a restyled, which it's about time because the old one was getting gray hair on it. So far, no gas engines. And these things sell for $75,000. An electric car with a noise box. If Chrysler thinks they're going to sell these things without an option for a gas V8, they're going to sit and rot in dealerships. Because what person in his right mind is going to buy an electrified Dodge Charger with a noise box for $75,000? You know, they had a hell of a business selling them to law enforcement. And then they stopped making them? Why would why would you cut your throat like that? Their police departments aren't going to buy these fucking electric things. What like in Ohio, you either see Tahoes or Chargers. Most states, take a look at your police cars. Now, they're either like, Ford Explorers or Chevy Tahoes, and then goddamn Dodge Chargers. And then Chrysler went, oh, we're not going to build them no more. And then they cry because Ford and GM now have the big share of the police business. Well, what do you got to offer, Chrysler? Nothing. And you wonder why you're always number 3? Chrysler getting surpassed by goddamn Toyota and Kia. A friend of mine was telling me Salt Lake City has a fleet of Toyota Camrys for police cars. I'm saying, Camrys? Although, look at Britain. They use Kias. They use Volvos. They use Subarus. BMWs. It amazes me when I'm watching a British police program, seeing them with Volvos and BMWs and Subarus. And we're not talking the bottom end cheapies either. But I could not believe an electric Charger with a noise box. And sound optional. If you don't want that noise, you can turn it off. And the car is just, I don't know what Chrysler's thinking. I just don't know. Well, let's eliminate gas engines altogether, except for the sound. We'll put an amplifier and a big speaker in the front of the car and the back of the car and make engine noises. Like that's going to fool somebody. Oh, yeah, but the ID buzz, it do not look like a Volkswagen microbus. I had one. And the ID buzz don't look like the old. Yeah, it's the new version, but if you were going to bring that thing out, make it look like the old one. Yeah, the ID buzz. All electric. That ain't going to sell. It's a gimmick car. That's what it is. It's a gimmick. Now, maybe young kids will buy, millennials will buy them. I don't see someone like me walking into a dealership going, oh, I want one of them. Does it come with a 5-mile long extension cord? It just, when they were talking about redoing it, they said, well, it's going to have a lot of retro look. It don't look nothing like a Volkswagen. We used to call them buses, Volkswagen bus. Don't look nothing like it. And being electric, that's a niche market. That's the problem. It's a niche market, and it ain't going to sell. A lot of these companies are going to start having to think about motorizing this shit. Now, if it came with a gas engine in it, it'd have a chance of selling. But anything electric is a niche market. The average person ain't going to buy it. Oh, they'll sell in California, the tree huggers out there. But there ain't no way that they're going to sell them in huge quantities. No way. And, there's areas of California where when all the tree huggers plug their vehicle in to charge it at night, they have a fucking brownout. Because the electric grid can't handle it. It's been in the news. These populated areas with all these tree huggers with these electric cars. They all plug them in to charge them at night and blah, blah, blah. You're never going to sell electric cars in giant volumes until they renew the grid, for one. And for two, they need more charging stations. It's sad. People with a Tesla have to plan a cross-country trip around charging stations. We're like, you and me, we could jump in a car, get on the highway. Oh, we need gas. Fill up, back on the highway. No. You're in an electric car going, oh. Then you plug in, it takes an hour to charge it. At a fast charger, there's several people in the neighborhood here that have Teslas. I've seen about 10. There's nowhere to charge them. The guy right up the street he runs an extension cord out to his car every day at night. There is not a charging station anywhere around here. And then you want people to buy electric cars? It's stupid. It's utterly stupid. And that Volkswagen bus, you're never going to see that sell in quantity. Because it takes a special person to buy that. And mainly a California tree hugger. Oh, trivia time. Hope you get lucky tonight. Really? Not our Walmart around here. Not the one that's... There's a Walmart down on Brook Park Road. Brook Park and Tiedemann. There ain't no charging station at ours. And you know the area, Kathy. At least roughly. But Brook Park and Tiedemann, there are no charging station at ours. Unless I put one in the last month. But you know, when you have to plan your route around a charger, that gives you, you know, you get anxiety like, oh God, how many volts do I have left? It's not like there's a charging station on every corner. I wouldn't take an electric car if they gave it. Well, if they gave me one of them Teslas that got the gull-wing doors, I like them. The doors come up. I'd take one of them. Or a Cybertruck. I think they're cool. Everybody thinks they're ugly. There was a car lot up the street, had 5 of them. I drove by one day, I was like, whoa! Turned around, went home, got my camera. Click, 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 click. Took a bunch of pictures. Then the guy come out and goes, get away from them trucks. I said, I'm taking pictures. Get away from the trucks. He had a stanchion around him, yeah, with police tape. Yeah. Well, it wasn't police tape, but I said, I'm taking pictures. I said, how do you know I didn't come in here to take pictures to think about buying one? You're shooing a customer away. And then he looked at my shit box and went, oh yeah, you can afford one of these. As a matter of fact, when you leave, sweep up the rust that you left in the parking lot, will you? I said, well, my shitbox Nissan is like a Harley. It's marking its territory. Yeah, it's no joke. Every time I slam a door, more rust falls off of it. One of these days I'm going to be sitting on a milk crate on the frame rails with a steering wheel. That's all right. I'll still drive it. Have you gone back and watched the real early videos yet? Get a good laugh? You'll have to watch the one with me in the RAV4 driving around the neighborhood with the GoPro stuck on the window. I got on the freeway. I got on at 130th at 71. I went down to 25th. I made the turn to come back. And so I was coming down the ramp to get back on. The camera fell off the window because the suction cup wasn't sticky enough. Pull over, stick the camera back up. You couldn't find any. On YouTube, really? What the hell happened to my oldies? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think I know what happened. No. The oldies should be there. I'm going to have to go. Oh, the oldies should be there. I haven't deleted anything. Oh, that bothers me now. God, that was my early history on YouTube. I think I better check my YouTube tonight. God, if my early videos are gone, that's going to break my heart. They were funny. Especially sitting in a lawn chair in the backyard with a GoPro. Man, if they're gone, I'm going to have to bitch at YouTube because they would be the only ones that delete shit. I haven't deleted nothing. Now you got me all upset, Kathy. If my early videos are gone, I'm going to be pissed. Because I have not gone in and deleted nothing. Oh, man. That's bothering the shit out of me now. How the hell would they have gotten deleted? Gonna have to do some research tonight. Well, I'll do it in the morning. No, I don't delete anything. Even my boo-boos I don't delete. God, I've had some just where I've tested microphones or tested a camera and left it up. They're still there? My oldies, Jenny? My stupid backyard GoPro beginning 3 years ago and counting. I hope it's not gone, especially my one with my tomato plant, where it was like Jack and the Beanstalk. I have never in my life had a tomato plant that grew like that. You know, it's those little yellow pear tomatoes. The non-acid, they look like little baby pears. And this one plant started growing and growing and growing, and it went up the back of the house, up over the gutter, and up the roof. A tomato plant. This thing went berserk. As a matter of fact, I took pictures of it and took them to the nursery where I bought it. And I said, look at this plant. And he said, what did you fertilize it with? And I said, nothing. I don't fertilize my plants. I stuck it in the ground, and it went bonkers. And I've yet to have another tomato plant do that. It just kept going and going and going and going. I had friends come over and go, what the hell is that? I said, it's a tomato. Tomato plant? They don't grow like that. Yes, this one did. It went up the back of the house, over the gutter, and about 2 feet up the roof. And then the shingles were so fucking hot that it cooked the top of the plant, but it just kept going and going and going and going. And I bought them since. Nope. They'll get 3 foot high. That's it. This one, there was something in the DNA in that plant that was mixed with a beanstalk or something, because it just went and went and went. How was trivia? Not so good tonight. Yeah, now you got me thinking. I'm going to have to go in my YouTube tonight. Well, I'll do it in the morning. That's when I do a lot of my surfing and that in the morning while I'm having coffee. I read the news stories. If something catches my eye. But tomorrow will be search YouTube for Grumpy's Beginning. Yeah, I was hoping we'd have more of a crowd. I was hoping Wyatt would pop in so I could show off my painting. I love this painting. I gotta be careful with it until the frame gets here. Then it'll have a nice glass covering, and right now I don't want to touch it. Even though he sprayed it with something, like a sealer. It is almost like me. Looks just like me. That guy in that picture looks just like me. And unfortunately, the bird I like how he got the bird with the banner under him. And the microphone with the coloring. This is just amazing. I look at this and I'm like, I can't draw a straight line with a pencil and a ruler. And look at this. Absolutely remarkable. Talk about a cherished item. Oh my God. Yeah, the first thing I did was order the frame. I said, oh, because canvas is delicate. I don't want to hurt it. So I can't wait to get the frame for it. Then I'll display it. I'm gonna hang it in my bedroom so I can look at it all the time. But look at it. Look at it. He even got the dark spot in the beard. Roger's amazing. And he tells me, oh, you give me too much credit. Look at that. He even got the goddamn age spots in my forehead. I took that out of the envelope and I just about shit myself. I was like, oh, man. When he sent me the pencil sketch, I couldn't imagine it in color. And then here it is. Me. My YouTube channel. Grumpy and his microphone. My wish came true. Grumpy has he's a star on TV. Look at it. Commemorized on canvas. Oh, it's just the neatest thing. I stood in the kitchen and stared at it for like 15 minutes. I was like, holy shit, look at this. I'm really happy my postal carrier took good care of it. Although, coming from Florida, it's amazing that they didn't ruin it. Although he did have it quite well wrapped. And it said, fragile painting, do not bend, do not sit on, do not use for dartboard. Because I'll tell you what, I've gotten some packages in the mail that it looks like somebody drove over them with a truck, Oh, yeah, I mean, it just, he caught it perfect. And, he's sketching it while looking at a computer, That's the amazing thing. It's not like I flew down to Florida and posed for it. But it's so lifelike. I mean, that takes talent. I don't care, how modest he is. That takes talent. It really does. And I remember in junior high, we had drafting class. Even with all the fucking mechanisms in the drafting board, I couldn't draw a straight line. Just utterly outstanding. That's a cherished item. That's why I say I ordered the frame immediately. I came in, I sat down, and I said, I got to frame this thing before anything happens to it. So hopefully I'll have the frame. Well, if the guy ships it out in the morning, like he said he's going to, it's coming from Eugene, Oregon. So, maybe a week. We'll see. See, we used to have a craft shop just a stone's throw from here. And the owner sold it. And now the closest one is down at Ridge Park Square. And I hate going down there because the goddamn I-480 exits onto Ridge Road, and traffic 24 hours a day sucks down there. You can't get in, you can't get out. Because I drive down there and pick a frame up. I don't need the aggravation. I'll wait. I'll put that in a safe place until the frame gets here. Then I'll carefully frame it. And then I can hang it. Yeah, after I got over the shock, I came right in. Got on eBay, frame, and the best one I found was this guy out in Oregon. He had a 99.9% approval rating. And he sold like 5,000 picture frames because that's all he sells. So I was like, I'll go with him. Because I even messaged seller. I have an 11 by 14 canvas. Will it fit in this frame? And that's when he emailed me back and said, well, if you'd have clicked a few more clicks, you would have seen a canvas in the frame. So I went back on the site and went, click, 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 click. Oh, there's a canvas in the frame. Okay. I'll buy it. Usually I go through all the pictures. I clicked on the frame, and I went through about 4 of them. Okay. Well, 3 more clicks down was the back side of the frame with an 11 by 14 canvas inside the frame. I was like, well, I felt real stupid asking that question. Although I'm sure he gets a lot of people going, will this picture fit? Now, I'm going to be on a mission this summer. Yard sales and garage sales. I want to, those big gold frames, they look all hand carved, and then the frame is about that thick. I want to get one of them. And hopefully I can find one to fit an 11 by 14. And I'll put it in that. And it'll look like a real Vincent Van Went. You know, I had a bunch of them pictures years ago and I threw them out. You know, I had them fancy gold frames. The goddamn frame was worth more than the picture inside of it, you know. Although, shit like that, you'd find more like at an estate sale or something. I just think it would look cool if it was in one of them big gilded frames. We'll see what it looks like in the frame when I get it. But yeah, I didn't waste any time. I was like, this has to be in a frame as soon as possible. We used to have a lot of estate sales around here, but not too much anymore. We had several houses not that far away, you know, what they called old money. And they were, you know, big houses. And although I'll tell you, I went, and Kathy, you would remember Hallie's. I went to the estate sale at the old Hallie mansion. Holy shit. You talk about a house that just went on forever. And then the house was like a big giant square. And in the middle of the house was a patio and a swimming pool. But the house was built around the swimming pool. And I mean big swimming pool. And they had maid service. And the neat thing was, they had servants' quarters. And throughout the house, every room had a button. And in the servants' quarters, I thought this was the neatest thing. Somebody would push a button and an arrow would point to the room number. Like bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3, bedroom 4. And the house had secret passages in it. The Hallie mansion was the coolest thing. And the servants could go up to the rooms through secret passages. You wouldn't see the servants go through the house. Every room, like you see in the movies, the sliding piece of wall, the Hallie mansion had that shit. The piece of wall would slide, up come the servant. That mansion was cool. You should have seen the size of the kitchen. Holy fuck. The kitchen was the size of a 2-car garage. Had like 1, 2, 3. It had 4 commercial stoves side by side. You could cook like 30 pots going at once. the house was amazing. The kitchen had an island in the center. And it had a sink on either end of the island and built-in cutting boards. And then upstairs, in one of the hallways, there were like sliding doors. And built in the wall was linen closets. You'd go up, slide the wall open, here's sheets, pillowcases, That mansion was unbelievable. I was in awe how people could live like that. Of course, Hallie's guy was a gazillionaire. And when old man Hallie died, the family didn't want that fucking mansion. None of the kids, we don't want no part of it. I don't know who bought it. I know somebody bought it. But that room service thing, it was like from back in the 30s. You push a button and a little arrow would go, bink, dining room. And then they'd reset it because over every room was an arrow. And they'd hit a reset button, and then maybe somebody up in bedroom number 3 would want a snack. Bink. And the house had an intercom. So it would be bink, room number 3, grab the intercom, push 3. Yes. Oh, you want some hot cocoa and crackers? Okay, we'll be right up. Make the hot cocoa and crackers. Slide the door open in the kitchen. Go up the secret passage to bedroom number 3. Open the wall, step in the bedroom. Here you go. Anything else? No? Okay. Get back in the secret passage, slide the door shut. I was running around through them secret paths. I was having a ball in that house. They finally threw me out. Security said, "You gonna buy anything or you gonna play around?" I said, "Well, I'm playing around thinking of buying something." In the laundry room had a commercial washer and a commercial dryer. And not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 mangles. You know what a mangle is? I know because my grandmother had one. 4. Everything got ironed. Sheets, pillowcases, tablecloths, towels, everything. I couldn't believe it. I walked in that basement, I was like, holy shit. Everything got mangled. And when I opened that linen closet, talk about, first of all, expensive linen and crisp, because everything was starched. Can you imagine getting a fucking bed with starched sheets? Everything was. Starched, ironed, neatly folded. I was going to buy some of the sheets and pillowcases, but That was the last thing on my mind. I should have bought one pillowcase. Told scared guy, look, I bought something. But everything was ironed. I couldn't believe even towels. I hope they didn't starch the towels. But they were ironed. But they had staff living quarters. I'm sure the staff made some good money. But you were live in. Because there was staff around the clock, 24/7. Amazing. Yeah. It must have been something with that time. Because my grandmother on laundry day, she'd wheel the mangle out into the kitchen and everything got ironed. It had to be the way they grew up, the way they were taught, you know. But yeah, on laundry day, my grandmother would come up with the laundry. The mangle would be toasty in the kitchen, and she'd be ironing everything. Me, I take it out of the dryer, fold it. That's okay. Shirts, take them out of the dryer, hang them up there. I do have an iron and ironing board. I haven't used it in years, but I've got one in case I need it. But you know, with permanent press clothing and that, and me, look what I wear. You know, it's not like I got a shitload of dress clothes. I live in blue jeans. So, little fabric softener in the new washer, you know. It's got an automatic dispenser. Pour the detergent in, pour the fabric softener in. Bleach if I need it. Shut the lid, push the button, door locks. And then the washer takes an hour. Slowest motherfucking thing on earth. A normal load, 55 minutes. I used to be able to 22 with my old machine. 55 minutes to do a load of laundry with these new goddamn washers. And you can't shorten it. It's not like my other machine. I had short load, you know, it had about 12 settings on the dial. Not this one. You put it on like normal. I don't use normal because it don't put enough water in the machine. So I have to use heavy duty. And it takes 55 minutes to do a load of goddamn laundry. Takes me all goddamn day. The only good thing is I have an agitator, not a hubcap. But they're stupid. You know, my other machine. This one, 2 minutes. Stop. Rest for 2 minutes. Then. My other machine. 22 minutes done. I hate this goddamn new washer. You can't adjust nothing. It's a pain in the ass. I should have gone to the used appliance store and bought a used machine. But I don't trust them. They don't come with a warranty. So I got this pain in the ass. Thank you, LG. Although they're all like that. My next door neighbor's got a Whirlpool. Same thing. They must make them all on the same assembly line, slap a name on it. Because after the first time I used it, I went next door. And I said, hey, how long does it take you to do laundry? She goes, oh, God, almost an hour. And then we compared machines, and the only difference is the name. The dials are the same. Whirlpool, LG, the control panel is identical. And I hate it. Like tomorrow. It's going to take me, well, I got 2 loads. So that's 2 goddamn hours that it's going to take me something that I could have knocked out in an hour. Matter of fact, my high school friends that we, talk every Sunday morning, I asked her. Now, her machine's got a hubcap. And she told me same thing. Takes her an hour to do a load of laundry. And her machine is 5 years old. So, they're all like this. Pain in the ass. Not to mention pain in the ass, my goddamn variety store. They still haven't finalized the deal with a new supplier. And I told the manager today, I said, let me tell you something. Word is circulating through the neighborhoods that this store is going to close. And people are looking already for alternate places to shop. And he said, oh, no, we're not closing. I said, yeah, but every time we come in here, there's less and less product. The meat cooler today was full of fresh fruit. Strawberries, blueberries. This was where all the Italian sausage and everything was. Go in the back. Where all the hot dogs. Now we're talking like 12-foot cooler of hot dogs. Bagels. You can't even go up to the store and buy a pack of hot dogs. Because they can't get them. I said, you're pissing people off. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to email corporate. And I'm going to tell them. I said, people are looking for alternate places to shop. You're going to lose business if you haven't lost a lot already. How long does it take to sign a contract with a goddamn supply company? Pay your attorney a little more money. And with that, I think it's outro time. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to search and see if my old videos are gone. They better not be. Okay, tablet. Don't give me a goddamn hard time. That they wanted to play the intro again. This goddamn thing. Pain in the ass. Oops. Careful, Grumpy. We know where, right here. WDWL TV. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or, what the hell would it be? 11 p.m. British time? I think they're 4 hours, aren't they? Poor Nomad going through a time change. I feel sorry for him. And with that, thanks for being here, group. Putting up with me another night. And we will meet again tomorrow night.